Greetings, Zimbabwe, Africa, and the world. Welcome to In Conversation with Trevor, brought to you by Titan Law. I go beyond the headlines and beyond the sensational. Today, I'm in conversation with Zim Dancehall pioneer, entertainer, singer, songwriter, Winky D. Enjoy this thrilling conversation. Winky D, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to In Conversation with Trevor.
Bless her, thank you. I'm very much honored to be part of such a conversation. You know, when it comes to conversations, I regard this one as the Champions League of conversations.
Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your kind words. Winky, it would be inappropriate for us to start without saying condolences for the loss of Delroy Skara, the drummer, Maripa Kwenda. Condolences for his passing on.
Yeah, it's very much a sad loss to us as a family and the entire fraternity as a whole. You know, we are yet to accept the reality. Yeah, because at any given time when you lose someone without, he wasn't sick for a long time. I think it was like 2-3 days at most. And he was up and running, kicking. So just to hear the news, really, we haven't accepted it as yet. Yeah. But that's the reality.
Do we know are we at liberty to know what happened to him?
We haven't had time to sit down with the family as yet to have the specific details of what actually transpired. But I think once the dust settles, we will have to sit down and we'll get the story from the beginning.
Sure.
To his departure.
Absolutely. How long had you played with him?
It depends with how we are going to classify the play.
Right.
Yeah, because we grew up
together.
Together, yeah.
Okay, so he was a friend, he was a partner.
More than a friend, I would regard him as family.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it that you think you're going to miss most about Delroy?
Yeah, most of the stuff that I'm going to miss about the young man are rather on a personal side of life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also it was humorous and to say the least. Yeah.
A very talented young man.
Indeed.
He's going to be missed. He's going to be sorely missed. May his soul rest in peace. A lot of people are surprised that we actually managed to get you to agree to come on In Conversation with Trevor. And on our Twitter feed, one of the questions that has been asked so many times is, why is he so social media shy? Why is he so quiet? Why is Winky D, why does he live in a shell? What's your response to that?
I don't think I live in a shell. Maybe we look at things differently. But as far as my social media handles are concerned, I think everything concerning the brand Winky D, we give people update. Yeah, as it happens. Yeah, it's not like the page whereby when I'm going to eat sadza there, I'll take my camera with me and say, all right, let me take you to the world. I'm eating sadza. Yeah, I've made sure that it's a platform for me to send my message concerning the business side of Winky D as a brand. Yeah.
And they say Winky doesn't respond to social media conversations. He allows his many millions of supporters to respond for him. That's why they say you're too quiet.
Yeah, it's really difficult, you know, to respond to, because most of the things that will be circulating, there will be rumors. It will be very difficult for me to comment on rumors. But when people approach me and want to hear the side of our story, we are free. We have always been doing that from the beginning of the career up until today. Yeah.
One thing that is not a rumor, Winky D, is that you've got so many names. I mean, I can't keep track. You are, well, your name given at birth, which a lot of people might not know, is that you are Wallace Chirumiko. Chirumiko.
Yes.
Wallace Chirumiko, my apologies. A lot of people don't know that's your name. Wallace Chirumiko.
Yes.
That's your name. But you've got other names, lots of them, and I want to find out why so many names. As the late Oliver Mtukudzi would say, mazita kufekerana. You are Winky D, you are president of the Ninjas, you are professor, you are the gaffer, you are the big man. Talk to me about why so many names. Do you give yourself these names, or your many fans throughout the world give you these names?
I think you left one extra.
Oh, yes, yes, extraterrestrial. Yes.
I think they move with the anointing.
Okay.
Yeah, and also judging with the space I'm in at any given time. Yeah.
But the one that is stuck is Winky D, and Winky D comes from Wicked DJ.
Wicked DJ, yeah.
You've stuck with that. Is that your favorite name, Winky D? It's become your brand name.
Yeah, that was the genesis of the names.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you grew up in Kambuzuma. You were born in Kambuzuma.
Yes.
I lived in Kambuzuma myself for some time. Was it section 2 or section 3? You went to Rukudzo Primary School, and then you went to Kambuzuma High School. Talk to me about growing up in Kambuzuma, going to Rukudzo, going to Kambuzuma High School. What life was like for you in the ghetto, as it were.
Well, it's that typical ghetto life story, you know, where when growing up, yeah, one would be regarded as naughty. And
were you naughty?
You know, that's how people looked at me. But if I look myself in the mirror, I see something different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I grew up in Kambuzuma. Yeah, I went to Rukudzo Primary School up to my secondary education. I went to Kambuzuma High 1. Yeah, growing up in the dusty roads of Kambuzuma, I was actually at school. Yeah, it was like a schooling that I couldn't get to the physical schools we know about. Yeah, there were so many lessons from kindergarten up until I was a grown-up man. So the challenges that we faced, yeah, some may say they are challenges, but I regard them as lessons. Yeah, they made me who I am today.
What would you think? What would you say would be the biggest lesson, the biggest takeaway from that schooling that you got from growing up in the whole of Kambuzuma?
I'll give credit to the struggling. You know, we might not like it when we are in that situation at that moment, but it hardened me. It made me a stronger person at the end of the day. So if I am to be in that situation again, it won't be an alien situation to me. Yeah, I will know how to hold on to the ropes and sail through. Yeah.
And when did you discover that you had the talent and the passion for music? Was it whilst we were walking the dusty streets of Kambuzuma? And how early did you discover that you had the passion for music and the talent for music?
Well, you know, when it comes to discovery, now it will appear like the situation, the great Zimbabwe situations, where the Portuguese say, we have discovered Zimbabwe. Yes. But I think the anointing was there from birth, right? But as an individual, I think it was the early stages of my primary education, because I used to have a collection of in those days we were playing tapes before flash disc and CDs. Yeah, there were tapes and vinyls. So I started having my collection. I think I was grade 5. I think at the age of 10, somewhere there, 10ish, 11. So when I look in hindsight now, or when I look at the present youths who are like 10 right now, I can't just imagine, can this one have a collection of tapes? Okay, let's put it to CDs. Yeah. That is what they are familiar with. It's actually close to impossible, right? But at that age, for Winky D, I had a very great collection of reggae music. on compact cassettes. Yeah, so I think that's where it all started.
And where did this influence come from, Winky? Because your brother, who's got my name, Trevor, Lila Soldier, is also into music. He's a producer, he's a songwriter, like you. Do you think it's something that has got to do with your bringing with the family?
I think it's genetic.
It's genetic.
That's my belief. Yeah. Because Lion is like following my footsteps. What I went through is actually what he's going through, because at one time I was a TV presenter, and he was also a radio presenter at one time, and also a TV presenter at one time. So it's like he's moving, following my footsteps. So maybe if I'm to sit down with the elders of the family, they will tell us the history. If there was anyone who was like within the music circles during their time, maybe playing the mbira before the whole urban stuff, the modernized set of music, you know.
What about mom and dad? Were any of them involved in music at all?
My mom, no, but my dad was a great mbira player.
Aha.
Yeah,
So that
not on a commercial level though.
Right.
But so
that's where it comes from, it would look like. That's the genesis.
Yeah, for now we can say that's where it comes from until we gather the information.
Take us through your creative process. How you, for instance, your first commercial number was I'm a Rasta.
Ndiri Rasta, yeah.
Ndiri Rasta. What triggers the creative process? What triggers for you to say, I'm going to do this track, I'm going to do this track? There's a lot of social commentary in your music. There's a lot of political commentary in your music. What tends to be the biggest thing that triggers that creative process for you?
Well, in terms of the creative process, I don't think there is a template on this is how things go like, or this is how it works. It just depends with the situation. Maybe at first it might be like an idea, right? Or maybe I can be inspired by a beat. I can also be inspired by a situation. So there is no template really to say, all right, this is how it is done, like making bread. Yeah.
So one of my favorites is Njema, for instance. Talk to me through that creative process. What triggered that creativity?
Oh, Njema, basically what I was trying to bring out there is like we are prisoners of ourselves in most of the cases, right? Our habits have actually become the cell block. Right, so we have to think outside the box and do away with certain things, and we should not look at things through a keyhole. Let's open the door and have a wider view. Yeah.
Well, was it political? I mean, looking at the cover, the design of the cover with the chains around your head, was that political, or is the prison that you're talking about that we are on prisoners? We create these prison walls ourselves.
Yes, it's us as a people.
Okay.
We are creating the prisons for ourselves. For instance, I will take you to like religion, right? The way religion is structured worldwide, it is coming as if it brought morals to the people. But pre-religion, we had our morals as a people. And the only thing is with religion, they are written down. But we as a people, we backdated, maybe before slavery. We had our morals. We had our own way of life that we were living. So that is also another chain that we as a people should try to get rid of. I'm not saying people should not go to church, but we should know we had a life before this present setup. Yeah. So this is actually one of the examples I can give for the mental slavery. It's something that we as a people, we no longer need the chains and shackles to be like physical. We are actually bringing them into our lives by the day. Right, so it's better for people to look in the past to get the answers in the future. Yeah.
And one of my favorites, another favorite rather, is 25. Very powerful political message, very powerful social message. Unpack that for us.
I will classify. I personally will classify that as social. I don't know how the political aspect will tap in.
Right. Talk to us about the
because
social
when growing up, we are ambitious and we have like a plan. Okay, when I finish my school, I go to university. From uni, I go to work. Around 24, 25, I have a steady job with a steady income. I start a family and things like that. But the reality then strikes. You're now 30 and you're still holding on to that same wish, those same dreams. Nothing has come to life. So basically that is what inspired the track 25.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
You should see me dance to it.
Really?
You started off playing a sound that was distinctively reggae with Ndiri Rasta.
Yeah.
Very upbeat and reggae and so forth. And you transitioned to dancehall. Was that deliberate? If it wasn't deliberate, what was the thinking behind that transition from pure reggae? Because I thought it was, Ndiri Rasta for me sounded like absolutely Jamaican reggae. Dancehall is completely different, beautiful and so forth. So I was wondering about that transition from reggae to dancehall.
You know, music is not stagnant. It evolves. So you have to move with the pace. So when we started, we were actually, most of our tracks were just taking the rhythms that they were making in Jamaica and we were actually voicing on those, right? And with the growth as an artist, right now we want to say, we say to ourselves, all right, we want to appeal to a wider market, right? Because not everyone is a reggae or a dancehall fan in Zimbabwe. How best can we include all those people? Let's try to play around with the sound and put an element that the people can actually relate to. Hence the music that I'm producing today.
How much does the feedback from us, your fans, listening to your music, influence your creativity in terms of reproducing what has done very well? Or are you the creator who says, no, this is what I create and I'm going to stay with that. I'm not going to be moved by what my fans seem to be consuming?
Yeah, as much as we might be the creators of the content, but they are the consumers of the content at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's a situation whereby you have to identify what it is the market is in need of. Then you give them exactly that. That's what I believe.
The dancehall is very distinct. And I'm proud of the sound. It's a Zimbabwean Zimdancehall. What do you think are the origins of Zimdancehall? Where would you pinpoint and say these are the origins? A lot of people consider you to be the pioneer for Zimdancehall.
Well, I would say maybe I took it from another level and I had to take it to a higher level. But when we look at dancehall, when it started really, the Zim Dancehall, I think I'll backdate it to around 2001, somewhere there, the term Zim Dancehall. Yeah. But before that, people were doing that. We have the likes of Yapi Bantan. They were doing what they were doing today. We have the likes of Mogoman. They did tracks in the 90s, right? But they had no name, a specific name to give it. They would just call it dancehall as it is called in Jamaica. So with the new blood now, referring to ourselves at the beginning of the millennia, we said to ourselves, all right, actually I got a call from Jusa. We were in 2003, somewhere there. And he said, yo, this music that we are creating, I think we need to give it a name. Jusa is based in the UK, right? And I was here in Zimbabwe. So him being based in the UK, he was exposed. He had exposure then. Then he realized, oh, we can't continue moving this Jamaican path. We have to have our own identity from whatever it is these Jamaicans are doing. Yes, we are going to take certain things from their vibe, but let's create our own from what they have already. And I said, here in Zimbabwe, it's tomati mangoma iso.
Right.
And they said, but I was thinking of the term Zim Dancehall, and it was Juicer, and I think there was Sluggy Youth from Three Wise Men. So from that point, I don't know, I'm not aware of the discussions that they had from that end. But the next thing I saw was a website, zimdancehall.com. I think we were 2004-ish, somewhere there, right? Whereby he was just uploading the dancehall which was created here in Zimbabwe and putting it on his website, right? And from there, I think in 2007, they hosted what they called the Zim Dancehall Awards. And the first Zimbabwean locally based to have that award was King Labash with his song Condolences. And I got the award in 2008 with the track Rocca. So to put a mark and say, all right, this is where it started, where it was named Zim Dancehall officially, I think all eyes should just lead to the, what do we call this? The website. Yeah, because the website, I think it was around 2005, 2006. I'm not really sure about the years there. But just for me, for if we want to look at facts, I think those are the facts that can lead us to where the name Zim Dancehall came from. That's the only thing that is tangible. Everything else is he say and she say and so yeah, for me, I'll put it there. Even though we had other artists who have been doing the same thing that we were doing prior to our vibe that we're dealing it at that time, right? So in terms of giving it a name, I think that era during that
story.
Yeah.
And is there anybody who's been a big influence on you? I mean, your fans obviously influence you because of what they buy and what they consume, like you said. But in terms of other artists, other singers and songwriters, who has been the biggest influence for you?
Well, we can spend the whole day counting.
let's just do three of them.
Yeah, because when we was growing up, the situation was not as it is today. We were influenced by foreign music to the extent that we didn't pay attention to our own local musicians up until I think 2000. Right, so we grew up listening to dancehall. My biggest inspiration is Beenie Man. Yeah, I've been listening to Beenie Man, I think, from the early 90s up until today. And Bob Marley, it was by default because the elders within the household, they had the vinyls and stuff. They would be playing Bob Marley, and until someone who is within that household, you'll be hooked. Yeah.
Any other influences?
And locally, you know, it's Oliver Mtukudzi. My father was an admirer of the late great Mtukudzi. Yeah.
So Winky, you have won quite a number of awards. I tried to count them, but I gave up. You are a 10-time winner of the Zim Dancehall from 2008 to 2016, 5 NAMA awards, 1 Zima award, Victor's Award in 2012, and an award at the Africa Entertainment Award in 2011. What does this recognition mean to you as an artist?
Well, the recognition really, it means we are doing something, and it gives us the hope, and we believe in ourselves more, that if people can recognize us to this level, then better must be ahead. And we will not sit back, we'll just soldier on. Yeah.
Does it go into your head?
maybe it might go through this ear and it will come out through the other ear.
That's a beautiful answer there. That's a beautiful answer. I can't help but get back to Rukudza Primary as you were growing up, and look at what you've become right now. I mean, international celebrity, loved by Zimbabweans so much. Did you, as you were walking the streets of Kambuzuma, ever envision that this would happen to you?
I wouldn't want to lie. No, I never.
It surprised you?
I couldn't say it surprised me, really. It actually encouraged me when it started happening.
What has given you humble beginnings? Is there something that has surprised you about yourself? That, gee, is this me? This is happening to me?
Well, the love that I'm getting from people, it's something that I never anticipated from growing up, because we the type of people everybody will just look down upon, and right now with all the love that we're getting from the people, I'm truly humbled.
How do you give it back?
Well, it's through the music. I don't think I have anything physical that I can give to all the people, apart from the music. Yeah.
And with love, sometimes, with popularity, with the image that with the brand that you've created, amazing brand, also comes a bit of hate. Have you come across any of that?
Yeah, wherever there's something good, something bad is somewhere close. Yeah.
How do you deal with the hate?
Well, as a person now, you just learn to live your life, and everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. People might have different opinions concerning anything. So as for Winky D, I'll just grab the love and leave the hate on its own. Yeah.
The obviously you've created all the songs. I don't know how many they are. It's 11 albums, hey? Am I right?
Yeah.
11 albums. Is there, this is an unfair question, but still I must ask it. Is there any one of the albums or any one of the songs that is a favorite to you?
With my music now, I would want to say, they are all my babies. No, even though they are. But my music is structured in a way that it's based on situations. It depends with the situation that you are in at any given time. Like, we can give ourselves the present situation right now, like we have lost one of our youngsters. We go for the Panorwadza Moyos at the Perekedzane and such kind of vibe. They will relate more. Yeah. So it's based on situations.
So the circumstances that you're going through are the ones that decide the music that you're going to produce.
For Winky D.
Lyrics for Winky D.
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, my favorite songs, I'm going to repeat them again. Mugaden, I think for me it's beautiful. Ijibita, Disappear, Finu Finu, Ngirozi, Photo Life, Kasong Kejecha. Very powerful song. Was that a political song?
Before we get to that one, you left 25.
Oh, yes.
I will remind you of that.
Yes, 25.
Yeah.
Kasong Kejecha.
Yes.
Given where we are as a country and Jecha is a word, was that political in any way? Or talk to me about that.
Can you elaborate more on Jecha is a word? Can you expand on that?
We've had political parties using Jecha as a way of spoiling things, or as a way of putting hurdles against political opponents and so forth. Was that the message that you were trying to put across, or what?
But where did the politician get that statement? That is street lingo.
I see.
Yeah, so when street lingo gets into the parliament, it doesn't change the definition.
I see.
They might use it in a different way from the one we're using it within the streets. So that's street lingo. But to elaborate more on that, that's social commentary at its best, according to Winky D. I know people might interpret things in different ways, but that is beyond my control. Yeah, but for me, it's social commentary.
So this is essentially what you're saying is, in correcting me, is that this is your music influencing the political language, or our language, as it were.
No. It's the street language. Yes, which is being grabbed by different sectors of the country and redefining it in their own ways. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's powerful. You've done collaborations. One of my favorite collaborations with Oliver Mtukudzi, and we've already spoken about Oliver Mtukudzi. Pano Rwadza Moyo. It's a beautiful song. It's an emotional song. It's a powerful song, and you've already said, Oliver is one of your role models. When you look at that generation of musicians and the way we look up to them, and you look at your generation now, do you think it's a continuous story, or it's a different story altogether in terms of the creativity and the music they produced?
Yeah, the story might be continuing, but the packaging might have changed along the way,
right,
due to different circumstances within the fraternity. Yeah.
Talking of collaborations, one of the questions that has been asked quite a number of times on Twitter, I'll get to the questions on Twitter, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to answer the questions or not, is will you ever have a collaboration with Jah Prayzah?
I'm free to have a collaboration with anyone. It just depends. Do we have a good song at the end of the day? We don't just have to, we are not supposed to just jump into the studio and say, we have to have a track because of a certain hype or a certain trend that is there at that given moment. But I feel if we have a good song, there's no need for us to stop it from getting to the people.
One thing that people have admired is the group of people that you've worked with. The Vigilance Band. Having talented people like Bartholomew Vera, Jonathan Banda, and indeed my namesake Trevor, Lion Soldier. How have you been able to get this talent together and get these people to work with you? What do you think has been the compelling attraction there?
Oh, okay. First, the ones you have mentioned, that's the Vigilance Executive. The band is something which is different. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we grew up within the same community. Me and Banda, we grew up, he lived next door to my house. Bartholomew Vera was like a few lines away. But we grew up as a family like that. So from growing up, we were like influenced in like the same manner with the Jamaican vibe. We used to, the collection of reggae tapes like I have mentioned. And with Banda now, we had a sound system. We were called Super Youths. I think it was during our last schooling days, my last schooling days though. So we started collecting vinyls. We used to call them 45s, right? So we do some backyard parties and DJ and MC and stuff like that. But Banda now was in academia. He had to go to university now. So when Banda went to university, I then formed a new sound with Gary B, and we called it Dark Child. That was 2001-ish, 2002-ish, somewhere there. So the people that I have within the executive circle are actually people from the same community. Yeah.
So this is basically a story of people that grew up together.
Yes.
Friends, people that know each other, and they're pretty tight, and you just happen to be a talented group of people.
Yeah.
You've also played with international artists like Sean Paul,
yes,
Akon, is it Akon or Akon? Akon, Benny Man, and I'm wondering, what does it take to be part of those international collaborations?
In terms of collaborations, okay, there are two aspects. There is stage collaborating, whereby we are performing on the same stage. and there's a collaboration whereby you are making a song together. So as for Akon, Sean Paul, we shared the same stage when they came to Zimbabwe, I think around 2010. And as for Biniman, yes, we did share the stage. And later on, we had to do a song together. Yeah. So the criteria really concerning the stage sharing is based on the promoter, really. Yeah. What's best for his show. Yeah.
Area 51 and extraterrestrial, a number of people on Twitter have said, can you ask him that is he big on astronomy or is just a coincidence?
It can be a coincidence twice.
So what are your views on astronomy?
Yeah, you know, I'm just somebody who loves astronomy, you know, because I look around and see what's going on here. And I look up into the sky and I always question myself, but what is happening up there? Yeah, so hence my love for astronomy. Yeah.
And what would be, as you sit here, what's the next big thing for you?
You know, we have dreams and they're ambitious in a way. We always want bigger and better things for ourselves as a people. But, you know, there are certain things that will then be beyond our control given the circumstances, right? Every artist wants to be the next Davido, the next Wizkid, the next Jay-Z. But in our situation, we are limited in many ways to achieve that greatness. Yeah. First we go the financial side of it.
Right.
Yeah, it has been a very big blow on the artist side. Because given the present situation, right? For instance, I want to establish myself, let me say next door South Africa. It's going to be a different ballgame altogether. Here, Mr. Trevor can just call me and say, Winky D, we need you for an interview. Because you know what I've done and you know the catalog and so forth. But in South Africa, I'm tapping into a new market where they have their own Winky D's there. So whatever move I'm supposed to make is supposed to be financed in a way, right? And here, I do a show. I earn money in my currency. It's going to be a challenge for me to get the currency which is going to be required for me to establish myself in the next country. That is challenge number one.
Okay.
And also, I can take you back again into the 90s. We had record labels which were there to identify talent, nurture it, and take it to the world. That thing is no longer available in the present setup. It's a DIY situation that we are in right now. So there's too much trial and error. But back then they would have a record label with the structures in place. All right, we want our music to be played in Mozambique. They had the structures in place. We want our music to be played in Zambia, Malawi, South Africa. They had those structures in place. But right now, as we are operating, we don't have those structures. And it's also a challenge for us as an artist now. Yeah.
And people would think that you have such a huge following, not just in Zimbabwe, but all across the world.
Yeah.
And that because of that, brand recognition and the popularity that you have, that maybe you ought to be focusing more, not just ignoring the domestic market, but also focusing more on becoming an international star. Is that something, is that a fair comment, a fair assumption to make?
Well, the international aspect now is actually clouding the minds of a lot of artists. Because for one to be great, he has to be validated elsewhere. And which is a wrong yardstick altogether. Let's look, for example, South Africa or Nigeria. We get to know them after they are big in their countries. But for us now, we have an example. Shasha, she won an award recently, South African award that is. But she came from Zimbabwe, and don't think she wasn't doing music that time. She was doing music. But right now, after the validation from South Africa, everyone is like, wow, yeah, she's good, but she has always been good. So we have a mindset that we believe anything that we make is not good enough until somebody else from elsewhere comes and say, this product is nice. Then everybody's going to open their eyes and say, yeah, he's one of us, he's ours. So we have to change our mindset. And we have to understand that the way music moves, in a way, it's politics, right? Everybody is there to safeguard his or her own territory. So if we as a people don't appreciate what we have until somebody else comes and validates it for us, then we are in a serious mess as far as growth of the industry is concerned.
That coming from somebody who's got this big following, do you think that the Zimbabweans see the creativity that you have, see the potential that you have? Do you feel, you've said you feel the love and the recognition. Do you feel that mindset might be affecting the way that they look at you?
It depends now, because it's one thing just to like a track and say, okay, I like a track being played maybe within the local setup. But when you move from that local setup, right, you are in Senton there, the biggest club in Senton. Are you also going to vibe to that same track you are vibing to when you are home? I think that's where the challenge is. The challenge is. We want to fit on given situations wherever we go. We don't want to carry whatever that is ours with us. We leave it elsewhere and we tap into whatever is presented to us. I think, as for Winky D, that's how I see things. Yeah, even from diet. You go to Frankfurt, you now want to have French eggs and things like that. But here, when you're home, you are able to make those by yourself, but you don't. There's something that you make for yourself. But when you just cross the borders now, it's a different thing altogether. You want to fit in the given situation. Let
me move on now to the many questions from your fans on Twitter. One, Petenya says, tell him to do whatever he's doing, bless up. I would want him to tell us his plans about taking the lead on the international scene. He's too talented to just be at home. He should have the same platforms like Burna Boy. What do you say to that?
Yeah, he or she is right.
Right. That's Tino Farah Mutovongi.
Yeah. And I was saying it, I said it earlier. It's not only the talent that can take you places, given the present setup within the music. Yes, if it was then where there were record labels to scout the talent, the record labels will do everything for you. All you had to do was to produce the good music and they will take it to the people for you. But right now, it's a different ballgame altogether. You should be in a certain network for certain things to work. Yeah. So yeah, everybody, like I've said, everybody's dream is to be big, even bigger than the Burna Boy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ruvarashe, 52, says, when should we expect a video for his song Ndijike Mari featuring Buffalo?
I'll have to get back to the management team, because they know the standard for them to qualify it now to be out to the public. But I'll give my answer in due course.
Okay, so they should look out.
Yeah.
And then an interesting one from Dr. Mutingwe, who says, does he feel a free Zimbabwean citizen, and how does he deal with potential threats associated with the message in his music?
Threats from where?
I don't know. I think that this raises the issue about the rumors, which were rumors that there's no basis to it, as far as I'm concerned, that one of your songs was banned. You've not heard that coming from your fans.
No, but I'm yet to have an official statement on that.
Okay.
Yeah, concerning the ban of my song or my music. I haven't been handed over any statement which is official to say, oh, Winky D, this song has been banned because of ABC. I haven't received anything as yet. Maybe they might say they are not hearing it on radio, but also myself, I hardly listen to the radio, you know. Yeah.
But from what you're saying, then there are certain songs that are not being played on the national broadcast.
I'm saying maybe the writer is judging by not hearing some of the tracks on radio. Yeah.
And then, it's lots of questions on the international collabo.
Let me get on that one. I think that's where the people's worry
yes.
about the international collabos. You know, like I've mentioned earlier on, you know, we want to look at ourselves through other people's spectacles. That is one challenge that we have as a people. You're not good enough until you do something with a Burna Boy or a Wizkid. Fair and fine. It's good for the growth of the industry to collaborate and stuff. But what are the terms of the collaboration? We are coming in as underdogs.
Okay.
For instance, I want to do a collaboration with artist A. And I'm told $20,000 for the collaboration alone.
Oh.
And I'm told another $15,000 to $20,000 for the video, right? And then I'm told maybe another $5,000 for marketing the same product.
So it costs you to do an international collab with these international artists?
No, it doesn't cost me alone. Even all the artists out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All you're saying is artists.
Yes, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah. So it's costly. I wouldn't want to lie. And I'm not saying these figures off my head. Right? It's something that we have explored that avenue. And we sat down as a team, we looked at it and said, but gentlemen, yes. Are we going to be doing things along business lines, or it's now for the hype? We have to be careful because we might create a pyramid for ourselves. And when it falls, you know how it falls, right? So we are in a situation whereby most of the people, when they approach for collaborations, all they see in their eyes is money. They are not really worried about the product that you're going to be making. All they want is money. But if I have 50,000, I want to know that yeah. Not saying I don't want to invest in my career. I would love to invest in my career whilst earning something that can sustain myself on an international level, as they call it, right? And I should be able to make the finances comfortably here in Zimbabwe. I should not be straining myself. For instance, if it takes me 10 to 15 shows to raise money for the collaboration alone, we are not here talking about the video or the marketing of the song. Then to me, really, it doesn't make financial sense. The business side of it will be crumbling, right? So you will be moving more with the hype, and it's not sustainable. That's how I see it with the inquiries that we have been doing over the years. So it's not like we don't want to be on those stages. We want, but the requirement itself is pulling us back.
Well, I think you've answered that question, and which is being asked by a lot of people, wanting you to clearly, we don't understand.
Why is Winky D not there?
Yes, we don't understand what goes into that. Tell me, in terms of how much has technology been of benefit to you? I'm talking of the Apple Store, YouTube and other platforms as ways of earning income? Are those important, or are you still relying on your gigs and on your...
Well, there are actually two sides. There's the good side of technology and there's the bad side of technology. Yes, we do need the Apple Store, the streams and everything that goes online. Yeah, we need them, because also they are the marketing tools that are being used by the day, right? And the bad side now is there are certain things, there are certain channels in which the music is being channeled into, which cannot be monitored, right? Like we can have a song and we just share it amongst ourselves via WhatsApp. How is the artist going to account for all that? Right? So there's the good side and the bad side. But what we have to do as an artist now is just to look at how best we can capitalize with technology, given the present setup right now. Yeah. We shouldn't be crybabies at the end of the day, because those are the dynamics.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking about how long is that hair? Does it touch the ground? What's the answer to that?
Yeah, not yet, but soon. I think.
How far does it go down?
The stretch maybe just around the knees or below a bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how do you groom it to be that long?
I just left it like so.
It's natural growing.
Yeah.
Are you in the studio right now, Winky? Are you working on something? Should your fans be expecting an album or something?
Yeah, it's routine for Winky D. Studio work is like a meal to Winky D. It's something that we do at any given time. You know, the setup within the camp is we always make music. We always make music, but we don't release that often. Yeah.
When can we expect something new?
You know, right now it's very difficult given the whole COVID situation, COVID-19 situation that we have. It's very difficult for people to plan. We wouldn't want to release music and just release it online. It starts online and it ends online. We wouldn't want that kind of situation. But if push comes to shove, we will be left with no option. But as for now, we're just hoping the situation will be back to normal and we'll be good to go. Okay. Put them in a festive mood.
So a number of people on social media are obviously asking you, your songs are social commentary, and they are wondering, are you cooking a song about the situation that the country is going through right now? Can they expect some powerful lyrics from you on what we're enduring in politics, in the economy, in the social space?
As for Winky D, I've always been doing social commentary, right? So the situations that we have gone through, that we are going through, and that are yet to come, they will all be embedded in my music.
I take that to be a very strong yes. So we're looking forward to that.
You know, people will look at things in different ways. That's how you see it. It's fair and fine. It's beyond my control. The viewers might look at it in different ways. But yeah, it has been, it is, and forever it will be concerning Winky D music. That's the backbone.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
One of the popular bits of sections of this show is the book section, Winky D, and I'm going to ask you now if there are any books that you've read that you'd want to recommend to your many fans.
Okay, to those who fell in love with the album Gemma, I think I would want you to go and do a little bit of research on the Willie Lynch letter, and you might have a better understanding of where I'm coming from and where I'm going with the album Gemma. Yeah.
Okay.
That will be my one book the one letter, so to speak. Go and look out for that one, and you might relate to it if you happen to relate to the Gemma album. Yeah.
You know, I as you'd have figured out, my Shona is not so good, but I absolutely love the poetry in your music. I love the lyrics in your music. Beautiful stuff. Well done for that.
Blessings. I'm honored.
Wonderful.
That coming from you, yeah, it means a lot. Yeah.
Winky, as a lot of people have said on social media, you are not an easy person to get hold of. We are absolutely delighted that when we reached out and invited you to come onto this show, you accepted. We're grateful for you setting aside the time, particularly after the precious loss of your drama. So we're grateful for that. So thank you so much for that. And hopefully we will have you after COVID, when you've done the videos that people are asking for, when you've been on social media responding to what they want, and then we can come and talk about a lot of things. So Winky D, thank you so much. You're a national treasure. Keep on doing what you're doing. We appreciate your music. You're part of our history. You're part of our culture. And we're very proud of you. Keep on flying the flag and the courage that you've shown. So thank you so much for coming in conversation with Trevor. Allow me, Winky, to tend to your fans, the people that watch this show who are in Zimbabwe, who are all over the world in the diaspora, for watching this quality show. We invite you to make sure that you don't miss out on any of these quality shows by pressing on to this subscribe button. And we now have podcasts. Scroll down this show and you'll find a link that will take you to our podcast. So thank you for watching this quality conversation. Until next time, cheers.